Yeah. Let's go.
Do we see a green bike in the front? Shakes it down. Webster with a good jump.
I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what she used to.
Jed Beaton has done everything right today. 5 seconds to go. Take a bow, Kyle Webster.
Go hard.
Hosting world-class events since 1973, the ACT Motocross Club, located just a stone's throw from Canberra's city centre, has been an integral part of our national series for decades. With its picturesque backdrop and hard-packed surface, it's known as one of the more technical tracks on the national circuit. Hello everyone and welcome to Fairbairn Park for round 2 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. I'm Lee Hogan alongside former Supercross superstar Danny Ham. Danny, welcome. Sun is shining here. We're in for a spectacular weekend.
I couldn't ask for better weather at the moment. This looks fantastic. As you said, the track itself looks sensational. What we've seen in the past has really delivered exciting racing. Let's get into it.
Now, Kawasaki MX1 class from round 1 at Wonthaggi, it was all about Jed Beaton on board the CDR Monster Energy Yamaha. You cannot start a series in better form.
It was scary for the other riders to see how comfortable he was at that opening round, just how smooth, calculated and fast he was. This rider is well in tune. I would say right now, he's the favourite.
Kyle Webster, a disastrous weekend for him. He hit the ground so many times. Somehow, only Kyle Webster could still come out on second overall on the day. An amazing effort considering how badly it looked like it was going to turn out.
And he was pretty beat up. At the end of the day, he was very, very sore. So great rebound for him, but we have seen it before. He is able to turn it around. Canberra could be that weekend.
When it comes to Cinderella stories, they don't get much better than Dean Ferris. The return of Ferris on board the Penrite Empire Kawasaki machine. He did so well.
He did, and I think he surprised a few people, even myself, just how good he was. He's a rider that is so smart. He knows how to run a championship and go and win one. Keep an eye on him. I think his best is yet to come.
And talk about keeping the fans happy. Todd Waters, not only in the best form we've seen in a couple of years, almost career best form. He looks so smooth, so calculated. Wonthaggi, he loves that place.
So good to see him back, rejuvenated. Another rider in contention for those podiums. It's what we like to see.
And the topic that's on the tip of everyone's tongue at the moment, the untimely departure of Nathan Crawford from factory KTM. It's not what you want at this time of the year, that's for sure.
No, that's a tough one for KTM, but we are going to try and get down to Blunden and get a little bit of insight as to what has happened there. I do expect to see Nathan Crawford on a different brand this weekend, so he's got a lot of work ahead of him.
All right, let's take a quick look at the Kawasaki MX1 Championship points. No surprise, we have got Jed Beaton out on top. All right, can't wait to get round 2 underway here at Canberra. We're going to take a look now at the circuit. Both Danny and myself get to go out and have a little bit of a blast. Enjoy.
Welcome to Canberra for round 2. I called up a ride share and I got this guy picking us up in the Shingleback rig to go out for this week's Shingleback track preview. Hogs down there.
All right, lucky I got my heavy ridge license hand on. Whoa. Whoa.
This is not cool. Anyway, we're gonna get out there in a second if he gets us there safely and rip a couple of laps around this track to get an idea of exactly what these riders are going to go through this week. Get around the back to the Shingleback Moto rack, grab that bike off, spin a couple of laps.
Well, Ho's got a better jump than me. Into the first turn, which is a right-hander, a little bit more difficult than most left-handers. A lot of bruise here, try and stay out of it. Through the rollers. The track's so soft at the moment. Put inside line here, how's it dry? Well, Ho's styling it up, he's feeling it. I'm gonna drive to the inside here. All right, behind Hambone here, trying to dodge a loose. Whoa! And loose Hambone. I need to try to find a way to get past here. a little bit sloppy, bit wet. Whoa! Man, I'm feeling like it's 1996 here. Trying to keep it to the inside. The track is a little wet in certain spots. We're gonna have to throw it down here. Around the right-hander, long sweeper over the first of our tabletops. The bigger jumps, Hogs is pulling away. He wants to get over these. Little scrub, they're coming close. This jump has actually been made shorter this year. Over the final one, a long right-hander. We'll go to the inside here. Beauty of this track, a lot of different runs, a lot of different options. All right, well, whoa. Getting to the tighter part of the track now. Things get a little wild, got roosted by the ham bone. Right, we'll cut up the inside, see what we can do. So much traction here. You're down the biggest water hole. Me too. Oh, I got so filled in. Look at your camera. I don't reckon we'll get anything from that one. That was fun, though. That was fun.
And the big story after round number one was the departure of Nathan Crawford from KTM. Lee Hogan is down with Kyle Blunden to get a little insight.
Kyle Blunden, motorsports manager for the KTM group. Kyle, first of all, we want to touch on round one of ProMX at Wonthaggi. It was a pretty good weekend for you guys to kick things off. Zach Watson did what we expected. MX2, very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think Wonthaggi's not typically been a great round for us. But yeah, the MX2 boys did a really, really good job. I think Zach, you know, we just need to probably limit those bad motos, but he started with a rough weekend in practice. And then even with Jackson Fuller, you know, to see him up on the podium at the end of that was really, really positive.
Yeah, now just quickly need to discuss the elephant in the room, the departure of Nathan Crawford. It's never a good time to lose a rider during the middle of the season, but so early in the season, and obviously his results at round one, we knew something was in the mix from the interview we did with him at round one, and obviously it's all unravelled from there. Can you shed a little bit of a light on this situation?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with respect, I can't go into the specifics of it all, of course. But ultimately, we've enjoyed 4 really good years with Nathan. I think we've had some great results over that time. But after Wonthaggi, you know, we had a discussion, and between us, we sort of decided that, you know, it was best for all parties to probably terminate that agreement, and we did so mutually. But I mean, now we're fully focused on the guys that we have on the team, the sponsors that we have, and making sure we're execute for everybody on board. And we're really excited to go racing this weekend.
And obviously being able to somehow turn a bit of a negative into a positive, that does open up a seat, whether that's the back end of motocross into supercross or you develop someone. You probably haven't really had much of an opportunity to think about that too much, but is that something that could be on the cards?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of conversations going on in the background, and I'm sure, as you can imagine, it was very popular when the news broke about that departure. But I think ultimately we need to have the right fit. We need to see sort of somebody that can come into the Supercross Championship and somebody we can take into that championship. They're very strong. So we just got to find the right fit, and ultimately that's going to take some time.
Well, very professional powerhouse team with still plenty of superstar riders on board. Best of luck this weekend in Canberra.
Great, thanks very much.
KTM, a very strong force out in the field, no doubt. It's a shame to lose Nathan Crawford for them, but however, we see him right there on the number 3 machine aboard a Honda. This is more of a privateer setup for himself, so he's got some work ahead of him if he wants to go and get those results. Lee, he's pretty quick in qualifying, not as fast as the 14, but that super pole we saw a little earlier on was just insane, the way those guys were throwing down those laps.
He was right there in the mix right from the get-go today, wasn't he? But there should be no surprise. Anyone that's got a bit of fire in the belly when they go through a situation like this, now both KTM and Nathan Crawford said that it was a mutual decision, but you know without a doubt Crawford's going to want to go out and try to show what he's got in store for us. So Let's take a look at our rider lineup. Fastest this morning, Jed Beaton, Kyle Webster, Nathan Crawford, Todd Waters, very impressive, Aaron Tanti.
Watson also with a good one, as to Zielinski. Ferris a little bit further back, but don't count him out. He has done this many times before. He knows how to put a race together. Wilson, Todd and Liam Jackson also with a very fast time. The boys only separated by 1 second. Very, very fast.
Sweet, Ogninas, Medson, the list goes on. Now, very important to bring into consideration the track here at Canberra. They have popped a bit of water down, and they had to. There were some parts of the track that was really quite hard pack and starting to get a little bit on the dusty side, but they've got the hoses out and they've managed to get the skid steer out and do a little bit of ripping as well. The track really should be quite good for the drop of the gate here in Moto1. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. 15-second board is up. It's excitement time.
Getting set for this one, the Kawasaki MX1 Moto1. Do we see Dean Ferris with his so familiar good whole shot starts? Can Beaton get out fast? Does Webster rebound after a tough round one?
Looked like Ferris got a good jump, and I will try to pick up. It looked like Tanti. I don't think that Jed Beaton got the best of starts. He's back in about 6th place. What a start from Tanti. Up the inside, Wilson Todd.
Great to see Wilson Todd up there. He had some fast laps earlier in the day. Tanti right there as well to the inside. The dust flying from that turn number 1. There is Beaton. He's already up to 4th. Where is Webster? I thought he was up there, back there in about 6th or 7th.
Wilson Todd comes through. Aaron Tanti slingshotting around the outside. Liam Jackson, what a start from the privateer on board the Honda machine. Incredible start.
In 3rd at the moment to the inside of Tanti, up and over, but wasting no time. A great run around the outside was the 14 machine of Beaton. As we see Webster joining the party, the MXGP of Darwin Whole Shot Award. Wilson.
Oh, Webster gone down. Webster has gone down a high side through that freshly cleaned up muddy corner. He has tipped it over.
So is Regan Duffy all the way back there. I saw Todd Waters is way back in the mix as well. A lot of work ahead of him as the Honda riders now start to move forwards. The number 8 machine is up there as well. This is great to see for them. There is Ferris, sits there in 6th place.
It's a disaster for the Kyle Webster fans. He needs to make up some points on his arch rival, and he has got his work cut out for him now. Already, have a look at the pace from Webster. From Jed Beaton, trying to make his way up the inside of Wilson Todd.
The guys looking for some lines with that work on the track, those lines that they may have thought were there are just not there at the moment. So a lot of work for these riders to figure out a track that is really not offering a lot of options around at least half of the track. But Beaton looking to get this pass made early. Good run out of this corner. He'll have the inside space low.
Beautiful scrub there. Can he find some space here? He doesn't want to force the issue too much, but he does. What a calculated move there. That was just textbook.
There wasn't space there, but somehow Beaton, we have watched him on rails around that corner all day long. Straight to the back wheel of our race leader. Aaron Tanti knows he's got a fight on his hands at the moment because this guy in 2nd, make that 1st, is absolutely lightning fast in this track.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Tanti has got his thinking cap on, he is going to try to latch on to the back of Jed Beaton. He's not going to try to do anything silly for his teammate here, but he could possibly get dragged along. Outside leg off for Jed Beaton. These lines are just not coming together at the moment. This track is proving to be so tough.
Beaton a glance across to the left, saw his teammate there, gave him plenty of room. The 2 riders up front, it's great to see Tanti with this kind of form early. He's been quick in qualifying. He is showing it right now. There's no fluke. He is here to fight for this one. In 2nd at the moment, and a good ride by Wilson Todd, still in 3rd, only just out of camera shot at the moment, but right in there.
Yeah, what's your opinion, Danny, on how Tanti should handle this? Almost like take a deep breath. Don't try to fight Beaton. Try to maybe pick up on the smoothness where he's rolling it on and see if you can get dragged along here.
Absolutely. Best way to approach this. Needs to do that. Not to the inside like we saw that short line many, many times. How about Webster? He is really caught back up. He was on the ground.
How has he done this so quickly? Kyle Webster is on a flyer at the moment. Oh! Tanti almost going down, but somehow manages to keep it on two wheels, but he has dropped straight down now into the face of a battle between two Hondas. He has got to be40 or he'll get swallowed up.
Okay, you want to know how it's done? Our race leader pulled a 142.1. Kyle Webster just did a 140.2. He is doing qualifying pace at the moment after that crash. He knows the urgency that is required to get these passes made. He needs no mistakes.
All right, let's watch him as he comes out here, hugs the inside. Finds wrong place at the wrong time there. No fault of his own. Very polite by Wilson Todd there.
Wilson Todd certainly could have made that pass instantly at that spot, but just allowed these guys to get up and going again. Great battle starting to ensue between these two. Craig Dack watching on. He looks a little bit tense at the moment with Tanti there in second. Actually, now Tanti's in third. The pass has been made.
Right, brilliant little pass up the inside there, and there was a lot going on in front of Kyle Webster there. Tanti had made a couple of massive boo-boos right in front of him. He was almost just going, right, which way is he going to go here? Now things can settle down a little bit, and the two big hitters, they can start to stabilise. They can start to see where each other's lap times are. How many laps do you think these two have done together in this scenario around the practice track?
So many. They know exactly each other's riding style, what is to be expected. I feel right now that we will start to see that pace lift from Jed Beaton, especially if he gets a lap board saying that second place is Webster. Moving back a little further, there is the number 3 of Nathan Crawford around Zachary Watson.
All right, so Danny, just talking about lap time, stabilise that time, 141.3 for Jed Beaton, 141.8 for Kyle Webster. So basically a half a second there, not too much in it as we see the first of Nathan Crawford on the red machine. Number 3 on the back of the jersey there, and he finds himself in 6th place at the moment. Time for a quick break. We will be back very soon. Welcome back to the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. Here comes our race leader, already putting laps down on some of these riders.
Crazy to see the pace that he's got out front. 5 seconds, 4.5, a little bit of a hold up there, then back to Webster Tanti. What was interesting is we just got a shot a second ago of Wilson Todd, Nathan Crawford, Zach Watson, all getting bunched up together. In fact, Zach Watson was the fastest out of those three the last lap around. Those two boys in front of Wilson Todd, Nathan Crawford, both of them have roll-offs on. Both of them have issues with those roll-offs. They're going to have no vision very, very soon. So that battle is going to heat up pretty quick. Not much between those three riders.
Well, what we're seeing at the moment as we take a little bit of a look here up in the smaller box, our number 82, Elijah Weesey. He's on the side of the track. He's had some kind of drama there. Looks like got a flat tyre, unfortunately for Elijah, the South Australian. But Danny, I was just about to point out, it's like we have two groups amongst what we're seeing here. Our first three, Beaton, Webster, Tanti, they were 40s or 41s for that last lap. And then we step down to Wilson, Todd, Crawford, Watson. They're all in the 43s or the 42s.
Beaten 11.3 seconds. Interestingly, though, look back there, Webster, Tanti is closed down just a little bit. It's still that gap, a comfortable gap, but man, Tanti is having the ride of the year so far as well. Back there in third place at the moment, he is looking pretty solid.
Yeah, like we said earlier on, wasn't it? It was a case of can Tanti just try to get dragged along by Beaton for a little bit. And what I meant by that little bit of a sketchy moment, needs to be careful, because from what I can see is that Tanti that's just starting to know it was a lap rider. I thought, okay, we've got some pressure cooker moments here about to happen for Kyle Webster. But no, I think he's just trying to figure out, what am I doing here? Am I going to try to unleash some kind of a challenge and put some lap time pressure onto Jed Beaton? Or are we going to try to circulate around here in second, see if we can get some good points and then try to turn things around for the next moto?
I would think that's the approach now. It's too deep into this one to try anything out there. As we see, there's Tanti, I think, in the back of shot now. So these guys, second and third, still comfortable. Those times on the left-hand side still say Todd and Crawford are just bar to bar at the moment. Watson has dropped off the pace, though. So he's fallen back and not in amongst that fight anymore. There is Crawford back there in fifth place. Those roll-offs completely torn away now, so he must have been bothering him and got rid of them.
It's looking pretty comfy on the Honda, I must say. He wouldn't have had too much time to set the bike up suspension-wise. I guarantee he's not running factory or A-kit stuff like the senior team. So, like I said, there's nothing quite like the power of, you know, trying to get out and show people what I can do, that little bit of anger or whatever has transpired. We don't know the full story. I don't think we're ever going to know the full story. But as we can see, he's climbing up on board the back wheel of the SCT Logistics factory Honda senior team rider.
In saying that, though, Wilson Todd has had this pressure for more than 6, 7, 8 laps at the moment, and he's holding strong. He has not let that gap really change too much. We've only got 2 minutes left in this. Is this going to the moment that Nathan Crawford turns it up and tries to put a dive in over this next lap to try and see if he can make this pass?
This really is a race of roll-off films, isn't it? It's a battle of survival for them. How many sets of roll-offs have we seen the film just flapping out the back of the helmet?
2 separate lines for the Honda riders. Crawford a little bit wider. Both of them into the same line there. However, a mistake by Wilson Todd. Manages to turn out of it not too bad. But for a very brief moment, it looked like Crawford was getting close to the back wheel. Crawford's fast down this particular part of the track. See, reach up there to try and clear some vision. There's nothing there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Wilson Todd and Nathan Crawford that had history all those years ago in MX2 at Wonthaggi?
Yes.
In the right-hander, 2 turns to go before the finish. So how much motivation did 2 riders need to be able to get in amongst it and sharpen the elbows up? What a passing move from Nathan Crawford, but he makes a mistake. What are we going to see now from Wilson Todd when he realises who it was that just came past?
Both riders to the inside. Todd trying everything to try and get that pass made back, but Crawford hanging strong. Like I said, this is the lap that he kind of needs to turn it up. At the back part of the track, he was very strong and being able to make that pass.
Yeah, there's only 30 seconds to go plus a lap. So obviously by this time, Beaton's already well and truly gone past the finish line area. So we've still got a couple of laps to go.
Through the Kawasaki rides. Second last time for these guys. Wilson Todd has not been able to respond at the moment. So kind of put a lap down on the 72 machine. Oh, listen to Wilson Todd on the limiter, trying to get that pass made.
Oh, that was Regan Duffy that was
Regan Duffy, yep.
Put a lap down, and a little bit of valve bouncing, a bit of rev limiter action there for Wilson Todd. And I think it's finally now the horns have sort of started to come out, and we could well and truly have a race on our hands for the last couple of laps here.
He's going to need to be a bit closer, especially in this part of the track. This is where Crawford was so fast, closed down that last lap, and ultimately what led to the pass at the end of this straight. He's dropping off again. Crawford reaching up to try and get some vision. It's not there.
Now we've only got a 2.7, scratch that, 1.8 second gap from Webster back to Tanti. Tanti is edging away at this gap.
Do we see Tanti steal away those points in the very final lap as we see it right now? It's on screen. Tanti is right there. Webster has been held up by some lapped riders as they roll around to the right of shot. up and over the tabletop towards the finish line. They'll get the last lap board this time.
Hard landing there for Kyle Webster. Up and over the finish. And a hard charging Tanti in tow. Does he have anything for this final lap? I think it's going to make a mistake. One thing you can normally bank on is that Webster is not going to run out of energy. That's never going to happen. It's a comfort thing. This track is one of the most torturous tracks that we have come across in a long time.
The left-hander executed beautifully that time by Webster. To the right, where he had dramas early in this moto, gets through there, okay. Tanti a little bit better in closing in. You can see Tanti can see that he has a chance here. He is absolutely throwing everything at it. Across the tabletop, he needs to get a good run here. Stay nice and low.
He's feeling it, isn't he? He's absolutely charging, and he's a stone's throw away now. We have got some of the toughest, most technical parts of the track coming up, where line choice is critical.
And no mistakes. It's what it's going to take right now for both of these guys for the outcome of this race as our race leader heads towards the checkered flag. This has been an incredible run for the number 14.
Beautiful line, so smooth, so comfortable. The confidence is so easy to see. Coming into the second last turn, putting lapped riders out of the way. What a race it has been. Wasn't from a whole shot, he had to pass some people, but the speed is undeniable. Tick that off, 3 wins from 3 starts in 2026. Race 1 winner of the Kawasaki MX1 class, Jed Beaton. What an effort. Second place for Kyle Webster. He had to fight for that one. He had some issues at the start of the race. It's super impressive from Aaron Tanti. He is back. Let's take a look at the results. Kawasaki MX1 Moto1, Jed Beaton with a 7.6 second win over Kyle Webster. Aaron Tanti in second place. Nathan Crawford in 4th place. Wilson Todd in 5th. Zach Watson, Todd Waters back in 7th. Then Ferris, Jackson, Rosenditch.
Good performance by some privateers up there. Zielinski, Campbell, West, Alone, Ogninas back there in 15th. Regan Duffy, we saw on screen, back there in 16th. Keeney back there in 19th. And Ward in 20th.
Great job from all these riders and such good numbers on the start grid down there for our premier Kawasaki MX1 class. All of them doing such a fantastic job. That was tough track conditions with the extra water that went down during lunch, and obviously a little bit of a harrow and try to mix it up a little bit. We saw some tricky conditions. All right, let's head down to Trent, who's with our winner.
Jed Beaton, not a whole shot, but you're up there. Had some passes to make, but once you got out in front, just looked like you were just letting the track come to you a little bit with the water and the prep during the break.
Yeah, to say the prep was good before that first moto, I don't think I'm going to say that one, but eventually it rode in. There was just clumps and mud, and then like they'd gone over all the old ruts, so you couldn't really see what was under. Once the lines formed again, I sort of got into a flow, and then, yeah, pretty smooth sailing, really. Got the gap on Kyle and then just managed that. Last few laps, just rode it home, saved some energy for the second one.
There you go, guys. The smile says it all. Jed Beaton, 3 starts, 3 wins.
Dean Ferris, 4-time national motocross champion, one of our most decorated Australian motocross riders that we have ever seen. Dean, this is a return to racing this year, a second return from retirement, but wow, what a return it was. Round 1, Wonthaggi, talk us through it.
Yeah, got 3rd overall, got on the box. Big, box tick, which was cool. Got a lot of feedback though, like I was kind of in no man's land. Kyle and Jed were gone and I was riding away from 4th. So yeah, had some time to reflect even while I was racing of the things I need to work on for round 2. So, but overall, man, we're back, got on the podium, enjoying my time here with the team.
Now, just talk us through this second time back as opposed to your first return from retirement. The second time, even you must have been asking yourself the question, is it going to be the same as last time? Does something feel a bit different? Obviously a different team, Penrite, Empire, Kawasaki, but did you feel that something was just going to click this time? What was different?
Yeah, so what was different this time, like every time I've retired, it's been for a different reason. And I was honestly quite content. I'd been away from sport for like 18 months. But when Brad called and, you know, gave me an offer and be like, bro, this is serious, like we really want you to come and race for us, I honestly tried to resist it. And man, the feedback I got with my body and my mind was just like, it just fell on my lap. It all felt right. So I was like, if it's supposed to be, let's go racing, man. Let's do it.
Well, you've gelled exceptionally well with the Penrite Empire Kawasaki team. Tyson Cherry, obviously leading the whole setup, does an amazing job. Brad McAlpine, my first ever mechanic in professional ranks, he's amazing at what he does. You've got such a good network around you. How has the initiation process been with the team?
Pleasant surprise with the team. I knew it was going to be good. Like, we've got Brad, who's a bit of character, brings a lot of knowledge, very professional, but at the same time can make the whole environment like really chill. And then Tyson's like handed us the reins. He knows that I know how to ride a motorbike, and he's just pulling all the strings to pull it together. So it's like really professional, but like really kind of chill here at the same time. So man, good vibes under the truck. I really, really enjoy that, especially now that I'm like been around for a long time. I don't really need the extra stress, you know what I mean? I put enough pressure on myself to do well, and I think these guys actually know that. Putting extra pressure on me is not going to make things any better. So like, because I want to do really well. So far so good. Really enjoying it here at Penrite Racing Empire Kawasaki.
Well, it was both yourself and of course Todd Waters, two of the older lads, shall we say, in the mix at round one. It's so much of a better class when we have you boys in there doing your thing. So let's hope that we see more of it here at round two at Canberra.
Yeah, let's go. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. Well, we are only moments away from Moto number 2 of the Kawasaki MX1 class. Jed Beaton was in a league of his own in Moto 1. Can he do the same here and make it 4 wins from 4 starts so far in 2026? He is looking pretty cool, calm and collected at the moment as he rolls out those wrists. Just to the left of him, Nathan Crawford with the number 3 machine. To the right of him, the number 47 of Todd Waters. Tanti, Liam Jackson.
Yeah, looking at that lineup just there, where was Webster? Jed Beaton, Webster, Crawford had a great one. Waters needs a better start in this one. Tanti with a fantastic race one. Watson, Zielinski, Ferris, Todd and Jackson.
Some big name riders here. The Victorian Jacob Sweet, Ogninus, Nicholas Medson, Regan Duffy, the WA rider, Brad West, Jack Kenny, Cooper Holroyd, the list goes on.
Final race of the day for the Kawasaki MX1. West is back there, Jackson, Pelicano, Bishop, so many riders. It's a big field for the 450s, the MX1, 39 riders. We haven't seen a full gate like that in a long time, and I was trying to say, where is Webster? Wouldn't you change it up a little bit and try get more inside going into that first turn? He's got to be confident on a good start here.
Yeah, I think maybe he's thinking I'm finding some old school Webster starts, some hole shots here, and he's maybe rolled the dice and gone a little bit wider. Can we see there's both Hondas just next to the dog box?
Yeah, wow. The answers are all about to happen as the revs come up. Gates are about to drop the final moto of the Kawasaki MX1 Moto2 here in Canberra.
Big loft to the front wheel from Regan Duffy, but that looks to be Jacob Sweet, the privateer out of the inside. Oh, rider just gone sideways and off the track. Was that Walsh? It's definitely a KTM. Is that Liam Jackson there up in 3rd place? Another great start from the Pro Honda privateer rider. And we've got Webster. We have got Jed Beaton in the lead, but I cannot see Webster yet.
There is Wilson Todd. Webster is buried. There he is about to go to the finish line again. We could have seen him grab a great start as we see the MXGP Whole Shot Award to the privateer, beating the Pro Bikes to the first turn. Jacob Sweet, congratulations. That was a fantastic start.
So jammed in the middle of the pack there, Kyle Webster, but already Jed Beaton starting to check out now. Brad West, it's one of the best starts we've seen from him from the season so far. But Jacob Sweet, number 79 on the privateer Yamaha. Just clean air in front of him. He must have been going, what is going on here? This is brilliant.
There is Liam Jackson, 6th at the moment. Across the first split, we had Kyle Webster in at least 13th. It could have been worse than that. Ferris now is in 13th. It's a long way down the order for these couple of riders. Todd is there. Waters, can't even see him down there. 16th place. Bad start for some of our big names. They can't afford to let this guy get a start like that.
3.2 second gap already. Jed Beaton has gone over Jacob Sweet back there in 2nd place. Tanti would have been hoping to latch on, and just like that, he's made the move past the privateer Yamaha rider. It's Yamaha 1, 2, 3, then back to Brad West on the Penrite Empire Kawasaki, trying to line up a passing move up the inside here. Can he make it stick? It's not so much the middle of the corner, it's the exit where that rut gets tricky.
Tail end of the corner. This is a great run from Brad West. Good to see we're finally getting to experience some of the speed and talent that this rider has got. He sits comfortably in 4th at the moment. Zielinski there in 5th place. Wilson, Todd, Jackson, Webster finally into 7th place. Ferris actually has probably made more passes, sits on the back wheel of Webster. So maybe Ferris is finding some speed and form as well late in the day, early in this moto.
So just a little bit of history on Brad West, the Queenslander who spent all of his juniors here in Australia, but then went to America. Years he spent in America just refining his craft, trying to get better and better, and now he has come back, got himself a seat on one of the most sought-after factory teams, the Penrite Empire Kawasaki team, and he is trying to make the most of it.
Kyle Webster to the outside of the number 16 machine, Luke Zielinski. Switches back to the inside. Wilson Todd just in front of them, looking to make the pass on Sweet. And there is Ferris at the back of shots. So these guys starting to move forwards. Webster to the very inside here. If he executes this corner good, he has got the opportunity, but no, not quite this time.
There we see Wilson Todd now on the SCT Honda machine. Trying to charge through as Webster goes to the inside, but just doesn't quite get the momentum in that first tip-in part of the rut here. What a race for Luke Zielinski. He's doing a great job here at the moment. He looks comfortable too, doesn't he?
He does. He looks very good on that bike. Moving around underneath him as Webster dives to the outside. In the Pirelli left. To the inside now. He should get the pass complete. Sweet though, still pushing hard, not giving in as they move toward the finish line to knock down another lap.
A couple of moments of scene of Webster. One was the front wheel when he landed on the back part of the track with the 3 consecutive tabletop.
Oh, even bigger one.
Yeah, the hard pack sections that are so glassy at the moment, there's a lot of riders that are getting a little bit of a twitch.
Oh, and again, almost crashing. Sorry, Lee.
The number 16 there, Zielinski, having a good race here, but now he's coming under fire from Ferris. Could Ferris catch fire in this race, do you think?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before. He looks a bit more in the zone on this one as the track gets a little tougher. Ferris comes to light. And currently has moved up a lot of positions to get where he currently sits. Looks good over that tabletop. But Zielinski holding strong. Here is a replay. Watch the front wheel here. It's almost like his fork grabs the outside. No, he's on the brakes that hard.
He got a little cross-rutted in the first part, but then he had to drop down and tip into that rut that was on the inside of where he wanted to be. So it was either jump on the front brakes and nearly go over the bars or high side.
Yep. Unfortunate for the number 1 machine. He's got the work ahead of him once again. To the inside now. Can the pass be made? Doesn't work quite as good on a 450 with the boys getting a good drive out of that outside.
Now, fastest lap of the race so far. Aaron Tanti has got himself one. Well, no, let's change that. Because as soon as I say that, Beaton crosses across the finish line. Wilson Todd has gone down in the corner while I'm having a look at lap times, but how about the times from our two Monster Energy CDR Yamaha riders, Beaton and Tanti, both now in the 141s, a 141.6 for Beaton, 141.7 for Tanti.
Here's the replay of Wilson Todd into the right-hander here. Oh, back end just stepping out on the hard pack surface as the Yamaha riders continue to streak away from the rest of the field. Looking at our leaderboard on the left-hand side, Brad West was in third. It just changed it right then as I started to speak about it, but that has allowed Dean Ferris to get up into third, and now we see Kyle Webster in the hunt to try and close down on these other riders in front, getting to the back wheel, making that pass on Brad West. Now to the back wheel of Dean Ferris. Do we see Ferris put up much of a fight here? Or do you think Ferris is in the groove at the moment? Do you reckon he's feeling it right now?
Well, you've got to remember how far back in the pack Dean Ferris came from in this race. He was a long way back, and he has just methodically, one by one, picked his way through to now be in third place. His last lap time around was at 1:44, so a little bit off the time of Tanti and Beaton. But still, he has got a hard charging Kyle Webster coming. That number one bearing down on you is a little bit of a daunting thing, that's for sure.
Very daunting when you see this rider coming around and hear that bike screaming in behind. It can upset your concentration a lot, especially on a track like this where you need to be absolutely precision perfect picking up these lines. Easy to get distracted.
Railing around the outside, beautiful line there, but just probably trying to figure out where to go. Where's the best part of the track as he's trying to thread the needle through here. Jacob Sweet still well and truly up there inside the top 8. Kyle Webster, we're just getting notification now of the fastest lap time, a 141.5.
And looks like that pass has been made by the change on our leaderboard. Looks like Dean Ferris might have had an issue. He is dropping down the order as we speak. I was just about to say that Webster is dragging Ferris along with him with equal lap times, but he has dropped down the order, so a tip over for Ferris. Don't know where it is, but certainly a tip over is dropping him back to 9th now. It is showing on that split. Unfortunate for him because he looked like he was having a very good moto number 2. Webster so strong deep in the moto. That back wheel, as soon as it touches some hard pack base, it slides everywhere. We saw that just as it went up the finish line, the back end sliding out. And that's the difference that we see with Beaton up front. He's always finding some lines where it's off that hard pack base. Right now, Webster is just throwing it down, trying to close down, and he's coming in hot at the moment.
It's the tricky part of the track here as they come into the right-hander. Does Webster have a different line up his sleeve? Does he have somewhere planned on the track where he would know he's been taking in considerable time from the number 9? We're going to have to wait and see as we follow him through. Here we go, a slightly different line there, but I don't think that was a planned one. I don't think that's one that he uses all the time. Maybe just searching, trying to find a way past Tanti.
Lap times have him at a 42 compared to a 44 between Webster and Tanti. Webster being the quicker, but it's one thing to catch up. He's going to need to execute these lines absolutely to perfection as we see him to the inside here. Tanti's going to get caught up by the lapped rider, and that is all it took.
That was another part of the track where I believe he knew he positioned himself perfectly well just before that section, and he turned off the outside like he was turning off a dime. Beautiful line. You would have just seen Tanti a shake of the head at the start of that section. He is disappointed to stay in that second place right the way through to 1 minute plus a lap to go.
Webster now looking to, well, you said he didn't mean it last time, but he used exactly the same line that time.
Those words taste good.
Seems to have worked not too bad in his favour as he is now stuck in behind a lapped rider. He needs to clear this one as quick as he can. Does so, moving through the rollers towards the finish line once again.
Now, am I seeing correct here? 3.9 second gap from Beaton to Webster.
Yep, there it is. You can see it on screen. He is reeling it in. Was there a mistake from our leader?
Last lap through, 144 for Jed Beaton, 142.1. So a 2-second difference.
And it's been that way for the majority of this race. It wasn't that he slowed down, but how much more does Beaton have under the hood? Can he turn it on for the last 2 laps here?
You would have to think, surely, with Beaton being able to ride as comfortably as he has, that he hasn't tightened up at this end stage of the race. But surely he needs to know, or he must know, that Webster is coming.
We'll wait for that one to come up on screen as we see this battle continue. There it is, race direction. Rider number 3, Nathan Crawford, has retired. We don't know why, whether it was a crash or a mechanical, but unfortunately, that is the end of that charge that we saw earlier on.
Well, all I can say is what an animal is Kyle Webster. To do what he has done here, to come from as far back as he had, to have a crash and then almost another tip over, a nose wheelie into the corner, and to do what he has done now. Now it is 2.5 seconds the gap.
And deep into these laps, riders. One hold up here for Webster could spell disaster. He needs to clear them as quickly as he can. Blue flags are waving, but it is only 1 lap to go. He's in reach of the race leader. He can see him, but he is not close enough to mount a challenge.
Into the AMX Superstores left-hander here. A rider in front of him has to try to avoid. There we see Jed Beaton, our race leader, comes through. Held up ever so slightly was our second place rider, Kyle Webster, but what is the gap now? It is 3.04, so the final lap, the last lap board has come out for our race leader now. What does Kyle Webster have for us here? How does he play this? Does he lay it all on the line?
It's going to have to be a qualifying lap speed to close down that gap and make the pass. Beaton can't lay down at all, though, with this amount of momentum being charged in from behind him at the moment. The number 1 needs to execute absolutely perfect for everywhere. You can see him swinging off the clutch at the moment. He can taste the dust of the rider in front of Jed Beaton. This has been an incredible comeback.
He is there. He's within 1 second now, surely. We're saying 1.9, but I believe it's closer than 1.9. It's within 1 second for sure.
Lapped riders in the way at the moment. Webster needs to clear Brad West. Beaton is through.
Webster greased that line there. Little bit of a mistake there, but nothing too serious. Almost comes together with Brad West.
Forced to the inside, a different line.
I love that inside line there. He did that same line the last lap, and he is almost within striking range. We've got about a third of a lap to go.
Can you believe this comeback? Webster needs to throw everything at it as they move towards the final 2 turns, but Beaton still in control. Lapped riders in it.
Lapped riders coming into play. Devastation for Webster. He got oh so close. 1 turn to go. Nail-biting time for Jed Beaton, but keeping the streak going. The perfect season remains so far. Jed Beaton, clutch ride with a double victory today. Perfect 50 points and 100 points for the series.
When you have a bad day, it's so easy to do it, and he's turned around. Even without this win, that ride there has brought hope back to his championship.
It's not in his DNA. He does not know how to give in. But you cannot take anything away from the consistency and the domination from this rider, Jed Beaton. CDR Monster Energy Yamaha with the win. And a fantastic day. Let's take a look at the results in that moto. Beaton from Webster, from Tanti, spectacular ride. Wilson tied in 4th. We didn't talk much about him. Todd Ward is rounding out the top 5.
Zielinski there as well, sweet. Watson, Patrick, Ferris back there into 10th place.
What a race we have just witnessed. We are going to head straight down to Trent, who is with our Kawasaki MX1 Podium.
Yeah, guys, Aaron Tanti, you're 3rd on the box. You just said it's been a little while. How does it feel to be up here on the podium? And that last one looked like it was pretty tough.
Yeah, it's been a big turnaround. Obviously, I've had the team back me from a major injury, and we've been building even from one thaggy. And, you know, I feel good. So this one's a big weight off the shoulders, and Feels like I can run up the front now, and I think we're just going to keep building from here. But yeah, track was technical today. Definitely, you had to be patient and come together with like they didn't have anywhere to go, but the lap riders were hard. You know, you start a rut 20 metres before the corner and you're stuck in it all the way. So yeah, you had to keep on your toes, but yeah, the boys rode good, and yeah, just happy to be up here for round 2 and keeping it in the championship.
Well, congratulations on third today. Aaron Tanti second, a hard-fought race there for Kyle Webster. Kyle, talk us through that. You've had a pretty rough day. The crashes throughout, and then right at the end there, you had Jed right in front of you.
Yeah, managing to keep it on 2 wheels, it feels like it's been a painful couple of rounds, but we're going in the right direction. That was that felt like a really solid moto. I felt actually really good at the end there, and haven't felt like I've ridden like that for a little bit, so that was nice. There was plenty of positives to take, but yeah, just the little things that are catching me out at the moment. So clean those up, and it'll be good. But massive effort from the team and everyone in my corner. It's been huge, and big thanks to Roscoe and John and everyone who trains us off the bike. It's a big effort, so thanks.
Awesome job on second today, and your winner here. Perfect 4 from 4 to start a season, Jed Beaton. Jed, that right at the end, did Kyle maybe catch you a little off guard? It's like you were going, then you settled in, and then all of a sudden he was there again.
Yeah, definitely. I got caught in a few lappers, and I actually thought Aaron was in second from the pit board. The pit board area was like really hard to see today, so I looked over on the last 2 laps to see the gap because I had like a 6 seconds and it said Webb -2, so I was like, oh shit, I better go. So wicked it back up again on the last 2 laps, and yeah, it was just hard to navigate the lappers today. We were probably into them in like the first 4 laps. So yeah, it's just a technical track, and that one, all the lines like dried out a little bit, so you had to pick your spots where you could push. And yeah, all in all, very happy. Another 1-1 day, so good points haul, and yeah, I felt good on the bike. So got to give it up to the team, my brother Ross, and my personal sponsors, Raw Control Tech, and Ashmore Smash Repairs. Appreciate it.
Well, there you go, guys. Another 1-1 day there for Jed Beaton.
4 wins from 4 starts, and unbeaten Jed Beaton for the first 2 rounds of the season here. And it's champagne time. Time to celebrate, and a job well done for these 3.
The points as it runs for the Kawasaki MX1 at the moment, perfect 100 points for Jed Beaton. Webster with that result stays in the fight. Tanti on 72, Ferris 66 just in front of Todd Waters. Wilson, Todd, Zachary, Watson, Zielinski, Crawford is all the way back there in 10th place only on 33. He'll be looking forward to picking up some more points as we move forwards.
Great job from all of these riders here as Craig Dack comes in to do a little bit of a pat on the back for his 2 riders, Jed Beaton and Aaron Tanti. A job well done to those 2, and likewise to Kyle Webster. Set your reminders for May the 10th as we head to Gilman in Adelaide, South Australia for round 3 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. If you can make it trackside, watch the racing live, then go do it. You will not regret it.
And feel it, hear it, and live it. The ASBK Championship storms into the Bend Motorsport Park May 1st to 3rd. The speed, the sound, the intensity, nothing compares to being trackside. Grab your tickets now at asbk.com.au, because watching it is one thing, being there is everything.
Well, what a day's racing we have just witnessed at Fairbairn Park across all categories. Thank you so much for joining us here in Canberra for round 2 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. On behalf of Danny Ham, Trent Maher and myself, Lee Hogan, thanks for your company. We'll see you next as we head to Gilman in South Australia for round 3 of the championship. Until next time, goodbye for now.